Archie, that is the only thing that makes sense.
Oh, now, come on, Audrey.
Why else do you think he followed me here?
To take you home. He's worried about you.
Oh.
Audrey, open the door.
Go away!
Let me in. Come on, this isn't fair on Archie.
Leave me alone.
Archie, open the door. I need to talk to you.
Don't listen to him, Archie. Come on, let's call the police.
Audrey, I think you might be getting a bit carried away.
Haven't you heard a word I've said? He's trying to kill me. He wants my money.
Even without you, Audrey, Gail's worried sick.
Look, if you don't call the police, I will. Where's your phone?
Well, it's in there, but...
Open the door.
No!
I'm sorry about this. Now, Audrey.
Get away from me! Just get out!
Calm down.
You're scaring her.
I'm not going to hurt you.
Richard, now back off now. You're making things worse.
She's just confused.
Look, you're terrifying the poor woman.
She needs to be with
Look, let's talk outside, okay?
you. don't believe in me, mister.
Get out! Don't worry, Audrey. It'll be all right. I'll just have a word with him, then I'll send him on his way. Now, don't do anything silly.
I can't leave her with you in this state.
I can handle it.
She's not well. I mean, did you hear the things she was saying?
Yes, but you mustn't worry yourself about it. These kind of paranoid delusions, they're not unusual.
That's all she is. Paranoid.
Yes, I know. I've said it before. I've never known it happen so fast. No, it's probably delayed shock from the fire.
It's been coming on for quite a while.
Look, leave her with me for now.
Well, I can't do that.
Yes, let me talk to her now. I've got a spare bed. She can stay there tonight. She'll probably be okay in the morning.
I'd feel a lot happier if you let me take her on.
You saw her. You wouldn't get her in that car without a straitjacket.
Well, I can't impose on you like this, Archie. It's my problem.
Look, let's face it. You're the last person she wants to be with at the moment. So let me try and talk some sense into her. She's watching us now. So let her see you get into the car and drive off. I'll be okay. I'll look after her. Go on now, go.
Okay. If you have any trouble, you promise you'll ring me.
Yes, she'll be okay once you've gone.
Oh, ma'am.
I heard him talking about my will, about power of attorney. I'm worth about £250,000 when I die, Archie.
You're not going to die.
But that's what he wants. Oh, I saw it in his eyes at the canal. He would have pushed me in if he could have caught me. I'm phoning the police.
No, hang on.
Why?
Look, let's you and me talk about it, eh, tonight, over a drink, think it through and sleep on it. You never know. Things might look different in the morning.
You don't believe me?
It's not a matter of...
No, you don't believe me, do you, Archie?
Audrey, you've been through a lot of trauma. It wouldn't be surprising if you were mistaken.
I am not mistaken. I'm not confused. He's trying to kill me. You saw what he was like.
He was worried about you. That's what I saw. Archie,
please. Look, if you don't believe me, no one will.
What happened? Where is she?
Don't worry, she's okay.
Richard, where is she?
She's staying the night at Archie's. I couldn't get her to come back.
Well, he should have made her.
She's in a bit of a state.
What sort of state?
Well, Archie used the word paranoid. In hindsight, maybe it was a mistake to go chasing after her.
She's not well. She's not safe to be on her own.
I know. But she's got it into her head that I'm trying to kill her. She thinks I'm after her money.
What have you done to make her think that?
She heard us talking before about getting power of attorney. That's when she made a run for it. She saw me following her. The closer I got, the more scared she became. By the time I caught up with her at Archie's, she was hysterical. There was no reasoning with her. I just had to get out of there.
Well, I know she's not well, but accusing you of trying to kill her. All any of us has done is try to help her.
It happens, girl. Believe me, in these kind of cases, it happens. It's a classic symptom of dementia.
There we go.
No, I don't want it.
Well, it'll help
no, I don't
calm you
want
down.
it, Archie. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My nerves are in tatters, I'll admit that.
Well, it's not surprising.
But there's absolutely nothing wrong with my mind, Archie. I'm not confused. In fact, I'm thinking clearer than I have done in weeks, and I'll prove it.
Oh, you don't have to prove anything, Audrey. There's now to be ashamed of.
I'm not ashamed.
You could have died in that fire. It's bound to have had an effect, the shock of something like that.
Archie, please, it's got nothing to do with shock. The doctor gave me those tests before the fire, and there was nothing wrong with me.
You were referred to a psychiatrist.
Yeah, because I more or less made them refer me. I needed a second opinion. So many things were happening. I mean, yes, the only explanation I could think of was that I was losing my mind. Now I know the real reason, Richard.
No.
Archie, I had those tests and there was nothing wrong with me. Now I will show you. Ask me 4 questions.
What kind of questions?
Any questions that I'll know the answer to.
Why?
Oh, it's one of the tests the doctors did, and I want to prove to you that I can do it, so come on.
There's no need for this
Oh,
sort.
just do it. It's just 4 questions, you know. How old are you? Who's the Prime Minister?
OK, who's the Prime Minister?
No, make up your own. Oh, come on, 4 questions.
Who's the Prime Minister's wife?
Right, go on.
Well, you haven't answered it.
Yeah, well, I'll answer at the end. Now, that's 1. I want 3 more. Come on.
Well, what's the capital of France?
Yeah, 2.
How many eggs in a dozen?
3.
Who was your last customer?
Your place or mine?
Mine.
Right, yeah, got it. Now, I'm going to count back from 100.
Oh, dear.
And when I've done that, if I can answer those 4 questions in the right order, it proves there is nothing wrong with my short-term memory, because that's what the doctor said. OK. 100, 99, 98, 97, 96,
I'm on
95,
call, Audrey. I really should answer
94,
that.
93, 92, 91...
Hello?
90,
Shuttleworth
89,
Independent Funeral Services. How can I help?
Richard told me what happened. I thought I'd check to see if everything's okay.
Oh, yes. Nothing to worry about.
79,
Is she still there?
Yes.
76,
How is she?
75,
she okay?
73,
I think so.
Can you put her on?
It might not be the best time.
I want to speak to her.
Audrey, it's Gail.
I'm not going back there, tell her I'm busy. 65,
She's busy.
64, 63,
Doing what?
62, 61,
Counting.
60.
She just put her on.
She wants to talk to you.
55. Gail, I know what you're thinking, but you're wrong.
I just want you to come home.
I am not mad, and I'm going to prove it to you. Now, I'll speak to you tomorrow. I'm going now because I'm in the middle of doing something. 54. 53.
Hi, Gail.
52.
It's me again.
I'm coming round.
No, I think that might make things worse. Look, why don't you leave it with me?
I don't want to put you to any trouble, Archie.
Oh, don't worry. It's not a problem.
39,
Wow, so
38,
positive.
37, 36,
Trust me.
35, 34.
We'll be around first thing in the morning, but if anything happens or if you need anything, just call me, please, anytime.
27,
Of course.
Thanks for your help, Archie.
25.
Bye.
Is she still rambling?
Yeah, but Archie says he can cope. I don't feel right about this, Richard.
Look, if something happens, we can be round there in 10 minutes.
I should be looking after her.
Look, girl, we may be looking after her for the rest of her life. So let's look upon tonight as respite, eh?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Prime Minister's wife, Sherry Blair. Capital of France, Paris. 12 eggs in a dozen. Deborah O'Brien. Ex-teacher, dyed roots and demi-wave. Am I right?
Spot on.
Well, you see, Archie, there's absolutely nothing wrong with my memory. I mean, I couldn't have done that if there was. I did not take that dress to the dry cleaners and forget it. And I definitely didn't take the battery out of my smoke alarm. So if I didn't do it, somebody else did. Archie, when the battery runs out, I go into the kitchen and I get a new battery, right? Then I take a stool into the hall and I climb up on the stool, I unscrew the alarm, take the old battery out and put a new one in. I mean, that way I only have to get up on the stool once. I'm getting on, I live alone, I don't want to be up and down on stools more than I have to be. So I know for a fact that if I'd gone to the trouble of taking the stool to get the old battery out, I'd have put the new one in while I was up there.
Well, maybe something distracted you, you know, the phone or the door.
No, Archie, if I got as far as taking the battery out, I'd have finished the job. It only takes a second.
Well, what if you hadn't got any new batteries? What if you forgot to buy them?
Look, there's nothing wrong with my memory. I've proved that, haven't I? Oh, do you want me to do the test again?
No, you passed that test with flying colours.
Exactly.
Which proves that if you're concentrating, there's nothing wrong with you, which is great. It bodes really well. It probably means if there is a problem...
Yeah, Richard's the problem.
If there is a problem, it's nothing as serious as Alzheimer's or anything like that. No, maybe it's a temporary thing. And once you've been to see the specialist,
I haven't got any need to see a specialist, Archie. I did not take the battery out of the alarm. Richard did.
Well, maybe.
Oh, maybe. I have forgotten nothing. My memory's perfect.
You forgot your glasses. You left them in the taxi on the night of the fire. And a good job, too. If I hadn't have gone back, you'd have died. Now, you can't blame Richard for that, can you?
I know you don't like to talk about it, but I need to know. I need to know what to expect.
She was a genius. I know I'm biased, but she was. She had this amazing head for numbers. She belonged in a bank.
Is that where she met your dad?
They were clerks in the same branch. As she gave it up when I was born, she wanted to be a wife and mother. I remember she used to take me around the supermarket when I was a kid. I mean, this was long before barcodes. And she'd get to the till, and the girl would keen all the prices. And if she ever got it wrong, she'd know. That's £2.20 over, love, she'd say. And she was always right. She could do the shopping, talk to me, and keep a running total in her head. That's the way she was. Well, she ended up getting a part-time job in that shop after my dad left. But she was better than that. She always said she should have been a bank manager. And every time I have to go in and talk to that idiot in my bank, it makes my blood boil.
Yeah, Richard was there when I put the dress out to go to the dry cleaner, so he knew what I was going to do with it. Then he gave me a lift straight to your place, right? I was doing Mrs. Cullington's hair, yeah. I remember that because her Carol used to be a former mayoress.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
And then you gave me a lift straight back home. And the dress had gone, remember?
Yes, I do.
So Richard must have taken it to the shop when I was doing Mrs. Cullington.
Or you took it some other time.
And it must have been a Wednesday because they guarantee next day delivery and it says Thursday on the ticket. At least I think it does. I've got it somewhere. Oh, Archie, can you not remember when I did Mrs. Cullington?
Audrey, the very fact you've got this ticket is...
Oh, well, Richard planted it. It explains why it took me so long to find it. It's here. Oh. Ready for collection, Thursday, October the 31st. So it was taken in on the Wednesday. And then Wednesday's early closing, isn't it? Now, you didn't get me back to my place till well after dinner time, did you?
No.
And the dress had gone by then. So I couldn't possibly have taken it to the dry cleaners, could I? Not if I was with you all morning in the funeral parlour.
Oh, I suppose not.
Oh, come on, Archie, think. Wednesday morning, October the 30th. Now, wasn't that exactly the morning that I was doing Mrs. Cullington?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, just think.
I can't. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Oh, come on, it's important.
Well, I've got my desk diary over there.
Oh, we'll go and fetch it.
Look, but Audrey, if these times and dates don't match, will you drop this, eh? Will you admit to being mistaken?
Archie, would you just get the diary?
Poor Richard and Gail, break their hearts to hear you talking like this.
Archie, get it.
OK, just to prove a point.
30th of October.
October. Here we are. 30th of October.
Mrs. Collins!
Hey?
Yeah, I'm right. I am right. So I couldn't possibly have taken the dress to the dry cleaners. So now do you believe me?
Well, this certainly does take a bit of explaining.
Well, Richard went back, got the dress, took it to the dry cleaners, and planted the receipt in my bag. That's the explanation.
Why would he do that?
To make people think I was going mad.
But why?
So he could kill me and no one would suspect.
What would make him come up with such an elaborate plan?
Tuesdays and Thursdays I used to visit her after work. She always used to have countdown on. She was useless at the word game, but the numbers, she could do them in her sleep. Then one day I noticed she was using a pen and paper. I mean, that was the first sign. Gradually, she used it more and more. Then there was a calculator. Then she started swearing at Carol Vorderman. Suddenly, she hated her. Anything that went wrong anywhere in the world, it was Carol Vorderman's fault. Well, of course, by then, it was obvious what was going on. I wanted her to move in with Mary and me, but Marion wouldn't have it. Split us up in the end. And then I moved in with Mum.
I didn't know you'd split up. You said she died.
She did. She died of a stroke. 2 years after we separated.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
I didn't want you to think that I was the kind of man who found it easy to leave his wife.
If he had good reason.
2 failed marriages. No kids. Doesn't look great, does it?
So what happened after you and Marion split?
I moved in with Mum. And it was hard, girl. I mean, I won't pretend otherwise, you know? No job, no social life, no wife. I gave up everything to look after her and got no thanks whatsoever. She hated me even more than she hated Carol Vorderman. First thing I did was change the locks because she kept wandering off. You see, as far as she was concerned, I was the guard and she was my prisoner. And all her problems were my fault. She'd swear and scream, bite. She bit me once at the top of the stairs. I was trying to get her in the bath. And I remember thinking, one push, that's all it would take. One push, and the suffering would end. And no one would know. But then you keep telling yourself that it's not her you're fighting. It's the illness. She doesn't know what she's doing or what she's saying. Ignore it. After a while, that stage passes. The paranoia's gone. But the next stage is worse. Because now she's just a zombie. It's not her at all. She's dead. Her spirit, her soul, everything that made that person unique has gone forever. She's just a body. I still used to put her in front of Countdown because it was part of her routine. Her routine's very important. But it meant nothing to her. She'd just sit and listen to that ticking clock. That funny little noise it makes when the time is up. And at the end, when I sat alone in that hospital ward, listening to that body fight for every breath, watching her die painfully and slowly. I wished I'd pushed her down the steps when I had the chance.
How could he get in to take the dress in the first place?
Oh, well, I gave Gail a copy of my new key. And you know what? You now come to think of it, Richard tried to dissuade me from having all my locks changed. I bet he got copies of my old keys and all. And you know what that means, don't you?
What?
Oh, yeah, that explains everything. I mean, if Richard could get into my home, that all makes sense. I mean, the washing, the radio turned on, the tap left on in the salon. And you know, after that salon, I didn't have any more of my little senior moments for a while. And do you know why?
Why?
Well, because they were away on holiday, weren't they, Gail and Richard? Now, you're not going to tell me that was a coincidence and all, are you?
I hope you don't live to regret marrying me.
Never.
I don't think I could cope without you.
Nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever break us up, Gail. Whatever the future holds, we'll get through it together, no matter what. I might not be the world's greatest financial advisor, and I might not be as successful as I'd like. But my family means everything to me. And I will never leave you.
Not even when my mum's lost her mind. Calling you all sorts.
In sickness and in health. Till death us do part. That means something to me, Gail. Audrey's part of the package. And I'll take care of her, no matter what.
He's tried to make me out to be a basket case. He comes into the house, he takes the battery out of the smoke alarm and started the fire. I know it sounds incredible, but you've got to believe me.
There's something else.
What?
Well, it's just occurred to me.
What?
Well, it's only a small
What
thing.
is it?
He told me there was no battery in the smoke alarm before he'd even talked to the fire brigade. Not that the smoke alarm was faulty, not that you couldn't hear it, or that the battery had run out. He knew it had been taken out.
Oh, does this mean you think I'm right?
I think you could be.
We can't burden Archie with her for too long.
She'll be all right for tonight. First thing in the morning, we'll drive round there and bring her home.
Whether she likes it or not.
Just knowing you believe me, Archie, you know, it's like a great weight off my mind. Oh, you do believe me, don't you?
Yeah, I've just had a thought. Richard's last wife, Patricia, now she's been missing for months. You remember that body they found?
Oh, he said it was her and it wasn't.
Well, he was desperate for me to get her cremated. Well, at the time I put it down to grief, and it was a pretty awkward situation with him having just married Gail. Why wouldn't he want a rush job? But if he knew all along it wasn't Patricia.
Well, he wanted her cremated quickly so he could get rid of the evidence.
Which means...
Oh, my God. He killed his last wife. Now he's married to my daughter.